Hi and hello everyone. Welcome back to the PMP exam preparation. We have covered a lot of important topics. We started with the overview and updates on the exam. We have covered the domains. We have learned the overview of project management, and we learned till now the four long knowledge management areas and their associated processes. Let's get started. Project quality management and project resource management. What is project quality management? This subject, quality management, is a very easy one to learn, but it's very difficult to implement. So you will face the examination for sure, but for implementing the quality you have to spend a lot of energy and time during the processes, and you must. So for the exam purpose you don't have to be worried, but if you are aspiring to be a great project manager, all these tools or the processes that you're going to learn here, they're going to come quite handy, and you'll have to spend a lot of time implementing them, assessing them. It's a tough job, the project quality management. So what does quality actually mean? Quality means delivering what is asked for and adhering to the requirements, basically. So if the final product or service is not functioning as per the requirements of the customer for the agreed warranty period, that means the product or the service is not delivering its quality. So this means that the customer gets a product which doesn't work. So the customer, whatever he aspired to use the product for, or the application of the product, gets affected ultimately. So and then the customer comes back to you for repair, or he might even reject the product. So that's additional cost of spending the resources to repair the product, or giving away another product is much costlier. So what is the worst thing that could happen than giving away another product is the customer refuses to do further business with the organization. So that's a much worse and a huge loss. But why will the delivery of the product will not be as per the mark? So why does the quality deteriorate? Deliberately, nobody wants to deteriorate anything. So why does it get deteriorated? There could be multiple reasons why the quality might come down. Like the organization deals with a huge number of processes when it brings out a product. So, and every process involves multiple variables, and like man, machine, method, everything gets involved, everything comes in place to achieve that one single process. So many variables are here and many things can go wrong. So if the key processes which directly provide value to the product are going to deviate, the quality of the final product also gets affected. So, and it's very difficult to avoid these deviations. Okay, you might think that okay, we can easily avoid these deviations. We can have exactly the same dimension as I want to in the product, but that is in reality not possible at all. There are so many variations to the product added, and that is why these tolerances are for. So, what the companies do is that they add various inspection points, these key processes, which could directly affect my end product. Right. So what they do is they identify these features as critical characteristics, and then they inspect these features in the product in 100% of the parts. But this 100%, as you can see, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, and also it delays the production. So it's a kind of balance that you have to find to achieve the final quality. And this knowledge area, the project quality management, supports the organization in continuously improving these individual activities. So let's see what the processes are, what we need to learn in this knowledge area. So project quality management, we have these three processes to learn. The first process is the planned quality management. So what happens here is in this process, we will learn how to identify the requirements and deliverables, and we will create a plan about how we are going to meet these deliverables. And then we will learn the managed quality. Here we learn about the executing the created plan. Right, in first process we create the plan, and here we execute it. In the second process we learn the plan that we have created. And finally the control quality. Here this process deals about how to record the process results, and then identify after the assessment whether the process is going away from the deliverables or adhering to the right path. So the 100% quality inspection that we talked about just a bit earlier, this can be avoided if we identify these deviation prone features and modify them to a level that might not create an issue. For example, by working on the tolerances, some simple solutions like pokayoke. You might have heard the word pokayoke. It's a Japanese word. That's nothing but making sure that things won't go sideways. It's a restriction for something that might go wrong. So implementing these pokayokes and a little ideas like this can help save a lot of quality concerns. But as you can observe, implementing these prevention techniques or the sampling methods comes also with a cost. To implement the pokayoke, we might have to spend a little money on the production line, on during the assembly line. If we are talking about manufacturing of a product, the physical product, it's famously called the cost of quality or COQ. But you have to be aware that this COQ, although we are spending some money to create this cost of quality, we are bearing this cost of quality, you must be aware that this is much pocket friendly than COPQ. COPQ is cost of poor quality. Let me just write down these key terms for you. So COQ, it's a famous term. We might get some questions on this, so I'm writing it down. So COQ is cost of quality, and we have to counter it COPQ, cost of poor quality. What happens here is if the product has poor quality, we might have to spend for the repairs, or might even be for the replacement costs. So that is the cost of poor quality, the money we spend if things went south. So I'm just clearing it out. So this COQ, it can be implemented at different stages of the project. We can add an inspection at the customer end, like when the customer is receiving the product at his end or her end, we can install a inspection at that place. But this could be the most expensive one to do, because here our reputation is at also at cost. And one step behind, the inspection can be done right before the delivery. This is within the organization, not at the customer end. So within the organization, right before the delivery, we can add an inspection point. So that is also one cost of quality. But this is also still a costlier option, because the final product that we are measuring or verifying for the quality, it is already made. So this is also a costlier option. And one step back, the inspection at process level. So this is slightly cheaper than the final inspection, but still a bit costly. What is the cheapest option is controlling the features within the design itself. So the design itself must be made, which is not leading to any quality issues. I mean, we avoid having a quality issue with a strong design. But this level of expertise comes only with a lot of experience, and the product also should not, disrupt or emerge itself. If you are working on a new product, the design cannot be first time right always, right? We have to accept this. Although all of us could be Einsteins or Newtons who has a lot of experience and knowledge in design, but still things go wrong. So this is a very difficult part to achieve. But if you are capable to implement this in the design itself, that will be the cheapest solution. So there is also a best in class solution. This is better than the cheapest option. What is it? It is to create the culture of quality throughout the organization, so that any new product coming out of the organization adheres to these requirements. So this project quality management process that we are seeing now, this is to ensure that kind of culture in the organization. So each and every step, each and every process, project manager tries to incorporate this quality culture within the stakeholders. And he doesn't have to be involved in these processes directly, but he can be the person who drives this change. So using these processes, this kind of quality thought process is given to the organization and its stakeholders. So before we move ahead, we need to understand the trends and emerging practices also in the quality management. One of the important trends could be the continual improvement methods. The PDCA methods. PDCA. Let me again use it. Plan, do, check, and act. It's usually in a circle. So we plan, and then we do, and then we check, and then we finally act. So this process is called continuous improvement or continual improvement method. So even in this method, there are so many new initiatives are coming, like total quality management, Six Sigma, Lean Sigma, all these continual improvement methods you might have already heard in your organizations. All these new trends are getting emerged. So just be aware of these things. You might get one or two questions on all these things. These all emerging trends, or another emerging trend is or could be development of vendors and suppliers. So when the organizations are working with a lot of vendors, so instead of just blaming the vendors for bad quality, what the organizations are doing is they are going to the vendors, they are improving the process quality at the vendors, and then the quality culture of the organization is also being shared with the vendors in order to provide the best quality product to the end customer. So this is also one of the latest emerging trends that is happening. Just be aware of these things. Let's move on to the processes.